Welcome teachers! Last week I made a video all about chunking and how to chunk with online learning. In that video I touched on how to chunk a video using Google Forms, but I didn't dig deep into that tactic. So this is what this video is about. So if you would like to know all about how to turn your video lesson into a chunked Google Form quiz or worksheet, stick around for the next 10 minutes. The first thing I want to do obviously is to record my lesson. So let's just say that I have a 10-minute lesson. I downloaded it to my computer. Let's go ahead and open that up, go into my files. Then I have my video here. This obviously is not a lesson, it's just a 10-minute timer, the winter edition that I found on the internet, but I'm going to be using it just for demo purposes. Now, if you double click on this video, it's going to play, but we do not want to do that. We want to edit this into chunked parts. So, most computers have a built-in video editor. This is going to be good enough for what we need to do, which is just chunk this video into different parts. So we want to name our video, and this is going to be our part 1. And we're going to add our lesson. And then I'm actually in Video Editor. Obviously, if you're on Mac, you have access to iMovie. So we have our lesson down here. We want to trim this. We have to think in terms of where do we want to put our questions. So let's say I want a question after 2 minutes. I'm going to take this 2 minutes, and now this whole clip is 2 minutes, and I'm going to finish the video. Export into a video file. And then the neat thing here is that this is a raw project. It's not a video anymore. I have exported that 2-minute clip, so I already have the 2-minute clip in my files. So I'm just going to rename this lesson part 2. Then I can trim this again and move it to the next 2-minute segment. And it is a little tricky when you don't have any pauses or it's just a timer. But if you want to film like you're going to chunk it up, it's best if you leave little pauses so that you can allow more room for error. All right, so now we have a different 2-minute clip, but it's further along in the video. I'm going to export this now. All right, and you probably have more questions. Maybe your video has maybe a 10-minute video. I might put at least 3 questions in there just to chunk it up into like 3-minute, 4-minute segments. But that's just what I found works best for my kids. You know your kids best. So I think I have enough clips to demonstrate. So we have our 2 lesson video clips that we're going to use. Now we can go on to Google Drive. So I'm in my Google Drive now, obviously. I'm going to make a new form, and I want a blank form. I'm going to label this lesson. And then I want the first question to be about the video, right? I'm going to move myself over here. There we go. So we actually want to add a video. Now, if you noticed, it's asking for a YouTube link. We actually have to upload the video clips onto YouTube, but have no fear. You don't have to put your whole life out onto YouTube. We are going to make the videos unlisted. So if you have the link, you can watch it, but otherwise, no one's going to be able to search for your video and find it. You have to give the link out to people. So let's go to YouTube, and you can see I have a picture of Mario Molina up here. This is actually the profile picture for mine and my co-teacher's video account. We want to use this little button and create, upload video, select files, and then I'm going to go find lessons part 1 and part 2. So I want part 1 first. So lesson part 1, you might want to be a little bit more descriptive than that so you can find your video easily. And yes, this is made for kids. Next, I never add any of these video elements. And then visibility, here's what's important. If you don't want your video public, you definitely do not have to list your video as public. So we want to make this unlisted. And it's only going to be the people who have the link that have access to watch your video. All right, then we want to save, and it's saying it says 7 minutes left. I'm going to close, and I'm going to upload that second part. So create, upload video. Same thing with part 2. Lesson part 2. Yes, it's made for kids. None of that. Unlisted. Save. All right, and close. And then we wait. So it says 6 minutes left. It might be a little bit longer than that. This is also the process that you use if you are going to upload an Actively Learn video. Actively Learn only uses YouTube videos as well, and also Actively Learn is very convenient. You just press in the YouTube URL. It doesn't even have to be your video, and then you can insert questions into the video. But we still have 6 minutes left, although it has been longer than 6 minutes. So just be prepared when you're uploading videos. Usually the longest part is not the filming, it's not the editing, but it's the buffering, the uploading, all that good stuff. All right, so it's been about 15, maybe 20 minutes, and our videos are ready to go. You can see they're unlisted, unlisted, made for kids. So what we want to do is go back to the Google form, and we can't search for the video because it's never going to come up. But let's say if you wanted to use a different video, maybe that's already on YouTube, you can definitely search it up. And it gives you some options to insert, but we want to insert via URL. So we want part 1. We're going to click on options, get shareable link, and it is copied. And then we want to paste it in here, and we have our lesson video. Then I'm going to drag it up so it's before the question, and then we can insert our question here. It can of course be a short answer question, a paragraph question, check boxes, whatever you would like. And then make sure I always make them required. And then we want to add another video, and this is going to be part 2. So same thing, options, get shareable link, and then copy paste. And then here it is. Then we can add a question over here. Let's say we want this to be checkboxes. And then I always make it required. And that is how you would chunk up a video in order to put it into Google Forms. The downside of this, as opposed to Actively Learn or even Edpuzzle is another good site, is that the kids don't have to watch the videos in order to answer the questions, right? So they could theoretically skip the video and go straight to the question, but I know none of our kids would do that, right? So here's what a finished, I mean, it's not beautified, but on the kids' side of it, they would have the lesson here and then the question below, then the part 2, question below, then they could submit their answers. All right, hopefully that was helpful and that you can use this with your students during online learning or even during the school year when you want to assign some independent computer work. And I will see you in another video.